And Maroons are looked upon as being so important because they were the first to kind of rebel against, colonialism or what have you, and they were the first to, kind of drive, especially the English, because in Jamaica they have a place which is called Maroon Town, which is, it was a separate country within a country. I mean, if the English had to ask permission to go to Maroon Town. If any of the slaves ran away and went to Maroon Town, then, the English couldn't just go in there and get them. I mean, they had to ask permission and go through like a court to extradite the individual and what have you. So, Jamaica and the whole Caribbean have been, synonymous with warriors. I mean, we talking about when, America was still in slavery. I mean, we had, Maroons in Jamaica were free to come and go as they please within their own little encampment or their own little settlement. And as Fundishi say, they'll come out of the bushes and get what they want and then just disappear like magic.
Wow. So the Maroons were basically martial artists themselves.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Serious warriors. Serious warriors. We even have stories of how the lineage of the fighting skill and ancestors' spirit would be handed down from one leader to the next to continue the fight. And one died, you pass it on to the next one. And a lot of skills that was passed on. A lot of know-how, how to become impenetrable to knife, to blades, and all of that. When I was raised, when I was growing up as a kid, they even used to tell those stories in schools to us. As far as the warriors of the past, how they used to fight. I remember that very clear. That was part of our, historical learning.
Shackle hands. What's the philosophy behind the shackle hands technique?
Okay, the philosophy behind shackling is that the hands, the word shackling, the correct term, or the correct term for shackle hand is Kiango Cha Mkono, which means, that's the Kiswahili word, Kiango Cha Mkono, which means to link, to connect, and to harmonize. See? So, when you work shackle hand, the whole idea is that the hands are joined at the wrist. See? Joined at the wrist. So when the hands are joined or fused at the wrist, to generate, to double your force, to double your punching power. What it also does is facilitate in bringing both hemispheres of the body together so that the body can work as one unit. You see? That's what we say shackle. So the hands are linked. They're joined to facilitate greater exchange. That's shackle hands. Alright, now as you begin to work the form, you'll notice that the hands join at the wrist to double your power, bring greater focus, greater concentration of energy. You'll notice the hands no longer shackle, they're linked. You'll notice that the hands work together. Hands working together as a unit. So you got total body, full body control. That's the beauty of shackle hands. Once the hands are joined together, once the hands begin to work as a unit, you notice you're no longer shackling. But now the hands are linking. Become linking hands. There's only shackling because you feel restriction, feel limitation. But once you work through those limitations and work through the changes, change from one move to the next without restriction, it's no longer shackling, now you're linking. Hands helping each other to move as one unit. Now it becomes yoking hands. So each technique have a meaning. So you work through this technique, so now what you have is a web of infinite connection, connected movements. Right? It's like jazz. It's like playing music, going from one note to the next, without having to think about it. You see? That's the beauty of the shackle. When the hands work like that, you naturally double your power, double your force. Foot come together as a unit. You see? You have a lot of options to work with. You see? See? and you're still moving. So it's a very free-flowing art. You can move with it. So it's not restriction in one place. You can sidestep with it. It metamorphosizes into so many different expressions.